welcome to Badminton Unlimited, where we bring you all things connected to the world's fastest racket sport. Coming up on this week's show, it's all about the second edition of the prestigious HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. Buckle up as we bring you the thrills and spills in Guangzhou and witness the crowning of the deserved champions.
感觉我们并没有任何的优势，所以说今天其实就没有想着这个结果去打，就是把过程做好。我自己在场上，我觉得打得挺爽的。
With only the top 8 players and pairs from each discipline making the cut for the season-ending blockbuster, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals gathered 2019's creme de la creme at the Tianhe Gymnasium. Starting off with a round-robin group stage, contenders across all 5 categories were divided into 2 groups of 4. In men's singles, world number 1 Kento Momota was the man to beat in Group A. Runner-up in the last edition, the Japanese ace began his campaign comfortably after defeating Wang Tzu-wei. Victories over Anders Andersen and Jonathan Christie followed for Momota, sealing his place in the semi-finals.
Converts on his second match point opportunity.
Andersen, Christie and Wang ended the group stage with a win each, but it was Wang who would progress in second place, having the best game difference between the 3.
在这个小组自己也是赢了2场比赛，对。如果是假如说可能最后没有出现，我觉得其实也不会对自己影响就太大吧，因为毕竟3场比赛都是应该是现在全世界最优秀的运动员，那我自己赢了2场，证明我的实力还是有的。
But the Olympic champion did make the cut along with Indonesia's Anthony Sinisuka Ginting from Group B. The unfortunate retirement of former world number 1 Victor Axelsen in his final group match mandated that the Danes' other results would be deleted, leaving Chen and Ginting to edge out Cho Tian-chen due to better game difference despite each having 1 win and 1 loss respectively. The Blue Indonesia Open champion missed out on a semi-final berth for the second year running. The draw for the men's singles semi-finals saw a repeat clash between Chen and Ginting, while Wang was served an opportunity to avenge his group match loss against Momota in the other showdown. Pusarla v Sindhu ended a lackluster season with another disappointing tournament. The world champion endured a difficult campaign in Guangzhou, losing 2 of her 3 matches in Group A. After suffering a loss against Akane Yamaguchi in the opener, the Indian struggled to keep up with Chen Yufei in the following match, going down 20-22, 21-16, 21-12.
Well, it was indeed out. Chen Yufei, she downs the defending champion, building nicely on yesterday's win.
Third set, I changed the court 11-10, and I think it was a bit disadvantaged where it was faster side, and I think I could have controlled much more. I think I've controlled it, but then a few mistakes where I gave her the lead, and she finished it off. Both were good matches, but on the other side, I lost. Overall, I think finishing off the year not really good, but then it's okay. I think I need to take the positives and work on my negatives and come back much more stronger the next year.
Chen would go on to be undefeated in the group after the Chinese star grabbed her 7th victory over Yamaguchi. Also winning all her matches in Group B was Nozomi Okuhara. The Japanese reached 5 World Tour finals without any title success this year, but the lack of silverware didn't affect her confidence at the Tianhe Gymnasium. Okuhara began her title assault by taking down the challenge of world number 1 Tai Tzu-ying before claiming straight games victories against Thailand's Ratchanok Intanon and Busanan Ongbangwongpan.
Well, that'll do it in double quick time, 21-12.
If I lose, very difficult, but I don't think that. Only simple, just keep going to run on the court. Yeah.
The opening day loss left Tai with a lot to do, but she bounced back in some style, getting the better of Intanon in a tricky 3-game encounter. On day 3, the Chinese Taipei player sealed her passage to the next round with a straightforward win against Ongbangwongpan.
其实这个比赛应该算是一整年里面强度最高的比赛，因为从第一场就是 非常的艰难。那我觉得第一场下去的时候每一场都是关键。那我自己其实就输在了这一开始的一些掌握上面的问题吧。对啊，但是后面还是赢回来，到现在可以进到4强，还是会尽力的再去发挥。
Tai was drawn to face Okuhara once again for the semi-finals. Japan also had another of its own in the last 4, with Yamaguchi taking on Group A winner Chun. Marcus Finaldi-Gideon and Kevin Sanjaya Sukamuljo mirrored their achievements of last year by celebrating another 8 titles on the HSBC BWF World Tour.
Oh, I don't believe it! Wonderful!
But what they hope not to repeat is another early exit in Guangzhou. The world number ones got off to a winning start in Group A when they triumphed over defending champions Li Junhui and Liu Yuchen.
But this time, the world number ones take the deciding game against last year's champions Li Junhui and Liu Yuchen.
It's feel happy because it's very hard to play also here, and the weather and the air also different from last year also. But we are happy to be winning in the first match.
This year more faster, last year very slow to shuttle, maybe more cold and little bit wind here.
They play really well today, and Liu Chen also play very good in the front, and they keep attacking us. They keep playing not too much lifting. They keep attacking and drive to play very fast today.
However, the Indonesians struggled on day 2, succumbing to Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe in a 3-game battle that produced a 139-shot rally. Gideon and Sukamuljo were back to winning ways in the last group match against another Japanese duo, Takeshi Kamura, Keigo Sonoda. They followed Endo and Watanabe into the next round, who landed top spot in the group. Indonesia's other men's doubles tandem Muhammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan also enjoyed a good start in Group B at the expense of Aaron Cha and So Woo-yik. The triple world champions continued harnessing their experience to good use on day 2, defeating Lu Qingyao and Yang Po-han in a 51-minute contest.
Oh, this is incredible! Oh, what a final rally!
But finishing atop Group B were Li Yang and Wang Qilin after they won the top-of-the-table clash against Ahsan and Setiawan 21-18, 21-18. In doing so, the Chinese Taipei duo also kept their unbeaten record in the finals intact.
还对自己表现算肯定了，就是至少该赢的比赛都有把它把握下来。然后像今天就可能就是因为我们已经有比较算是有晋级了，所以可能就以比较放松的心态，就是比较让自己不要有那么多压力，然后在场上去享受比赛这样子。
Li and Wang were drawn to meet the Indonesian veterans again in the semi-finals. Gideon and Sukamuljo renewed their rivalry with Endo and Watanabe again in the opposing last 4 clash. Fuzhou China Open champions Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota of Japan made it 3 wins out of 3 in their group campaign. The world number 2 pair were unstoppable as they overcame their rivals, including Asian and All England champions Cheng Qingchen and Jia Yifan. Despite the loss, Chen and Jia did enough with 2 wins to progress along with the Japanese pair. Korea's Lee So-hee and Shin Sung-chan were also in inspiring form in Group B. Day 1 saw the world number 5 duo take down the challenge of teammates Kim So-young, Kong Hee-young before dismantling the threat coming from world champions Mayu Matsumoto, Wakana Nagahara and Jongkopan Kitikarakul, Rawinda Prajongjai.
일단 조 1위로 올라가게 된 건 되게 기쁘게 생각하고, 근데 저희가 몇 게임 한 게임마다 너무 어렵게 이기고 올라간 것 같아가지고 체력 소모가 좀 많은 것 같아요. 그래도 1위로 올라가서 기쁜 것 같아요.
Claiming the second semi-final spot in Group B was Matsumoto and Nagahara, who edged past Kim and Kong in straight games.
And she and Wakana Nagahara booked their place in the semi-final.
でも今日勝った方が明日の決勝トーナメントで進めるということで、もう今日は本当に
もうどんな形でも絶対に勝ちに行こうという強い気持ちを持って入っていけたので、最後まで引かずに相手に向かっていけたのが勝てた勝因かなと思います。
The draw saw the world number 3 Matsumoto Nagahara take on compatriots Fukushima and Hirota, while Li and Shin squared up against China's Chen and Jia. In mixed doubles, Group A saw Thailand's Dechapol Puavaranokro and Sapsuri Taratanachai play out an entertaining second game against Chan Peng-sun and Go Liu Ying on day 2. A long-drawn rally was the big highlight before the Thais eventually squeezed past the Malaysians with a final score of 21-16, 28-26.
Try to not defend a lot because they play like slow game, not fast game. Yeah. And then just that shot, that point, who can control better, so get the point.
Sealing a second win was enough for the Thais to accompany Wang Yiliu and Huang Dongping into the semi-finals. The world number 2 tandem earned top spot with 3 wins. World champions Zheng Siwei and Huang Yachong needed to be at their best until the very end to make it out of Group B. A straight games loss in the opening match meant that the world number 1s needed wins in their next 2 matches against Indonesia's top 2 mixed pairs. Hafiz Faisal and Gloria Emmanuel Wijaja gave Zheng and Huang a stern test before their compatriots Praveen Jordan and Melati Deva Octavianti almost pulled off a sensational 3rd consecutive triumph over the Chinese pair. Despite their failure to convert 2 match points, Zheng and Huang stayed calm to walk away with a 21-8, 15-21, 22-20 win and a ticket to the semi-finals along with group winners Watanabe and Higashino.
其实他们这队选手打起来节奏非常快，就是没有什么太多的攻防，所以我们今天也是在前半场做了很多的准备，然后去跟他们逼抢这个进攻的机会，这样。
The mixed doubles semi-final draw also saw another replay of the group matches. Zheng and Huang up against Watanabe and Higashino, while Wang and Huang entertained Puavaranokro and Teratanachai. Time for a short break, but when we return, we'll give you the best of the knockout action at the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2019. Stay with us.
其实精力挺紧了吧，整个兴奋度啊、积极度上来了。因为开局的时候，我明显感觉有点盯不住球，然后他们抓的球不紧，然后后面抓紧了，我觉得就一下分数上来了。
Tianhe Gymnasium welcomed the battle of the last 4, and the first semi-final in men's singles saw Chen Long up against Anthony Sinisuka Ginting. With Shi Yuqi absent to defend his Guangzhou crown, fans had looked to Chen to keep the title on home soil. However, it was Ginting who dictated terms on the day, and the Indonesian coolly wrapped up the match in straight games.
There it is, Ginting, glorious in Guangzhou.
I feel like I didn't make any own mistakes, so too many. So I tried so hard to focus to not to do that. So yeah, today I can make it happen. So yeah, very happy because I can.
It was the end of the road for Wang Zuwei after he was stopped in his tracks by the unflappable Kento Momota. The finals debutant put up a better fight here than he did on day 1, but it was always going to take something special to stop the Japanese from making his second successive Guangzhou final.
And Kento Momota closes out the match.
In women's singles, Rio Olympic bronze medalist Nozomi Okuhara concluded her 2019 season empty-handed after she was shut down by a resurgent Tai Su Ying. The Danisa Denmark Open winner was recovering the swagger that was missing when she lost to the Japanese in the group stage.
Well, there it is. Just didn't reach the levels of yesterday, Okuhara.
Her opponent in the final was to be China's Chen Yufei, who repeated her winning performance against Akana Yamaguchi. The All-England champion came out on top of the world, number 4 in the final group match the day before, and the outcome was similar in the semi-final. 21-18, 21-9 it finished, setting up a tantalizing final between the world's top 2 ranked players.
It's one big step towards the final.
我觉得有昨天的比赛之后，今天可能会更有信心一些。对，所以在场上就是发挥的感觉，有准备的东西都打出来了吧。
The biggest result of the day belonged to Japan's Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe when they pulled off another victory over favourites Marcus Fernaldi Gideon and Kevin Sanjay Sukamuljo. The world number ones weren't as dynamic in their play as they are known to be and paid the price after 3 games.
Yeah, I think the opponent more consistent than us, and they play really well today.
In the third game, we cannot manage to defend well because the pressure of the wind also very strong from there. And after change, we already too much gap, and I make a lot of mistake and a lot of pressure today.
Thankfully for Indonesia, Muhammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan fared much better when they dealt with the threat of Li Yang and Wang Qilin. Despite tasting defeat against the Chinese Taipei tandem from the day before, the world champions redeemed themselves in an emphatic 21-14, 21-9 victory. In the first women's doubles semi-final clash, Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan outplayed Koreans Lee So-hee and Shin Sung-chan in straight games. The former world champions were largely untroubled throughout the match, and their dominant display earned them a place in the final.
全力以赴的应付，对，我觉得就是把自己东西打出来。那真的人家发挥得更好，那我也甘愿认。但是我希望我发挥得比他们还好。
Japan was assured of a presence in the championship showdown when Mayu Matsumoto Wakana Nagahara took on Yuki Fukushima Sayaka Hirota in the other last 4 encounter. The contest dragged to a decider where Matsumoto and Nagahara took charge to wrap up the match 13-21, 21-17, 21-9.
They convert on their first match point opportunity.
The mixed doubles final would be a repeat of last year's title showdown after Wang Yiyu, Huang Dongping and Zheng Siwei, Huang Yaqiong won their respective semi-finals. Still smarting from that opening match loss to Yuta Watanabe and Arita Higashino, world number ones Zheng and Huang showed they had learnt their lesson when they claimed revenge over the Japanese duo after almost an hour of play.
They're there, and look what it means. They were outplayed in the second game, but they came back strongly.
Their compatriots and defending champions Wang and Huang successfully kept out Dechapol Puavaranokro and Sapsuri Teratanachai. The Thais couldn't hold on to their lead in the second game as the Chinese opponents caught up to 16-all before sealing their place in the final.
That's it. It's a terrific win. They looked second favourites in that game for much of it. But they came through with flying colours.
其实精力挺紧了吧，整个兴奋度啊、积极度上来了。因为开局的时候，明显感觉有点盯不住球，然后他们抓的球不紧，然后后面抓紧了，我觉得就一下分数上来了。
The HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2019 reached its summit in Guangzhou, and fans inside the Tianhe Gymnasium had plenty to cheer about. China was in contention for a hat-trick of titles, and when the day was done, the host nation made the clean sweep. It was fitting then that the opening act featured an all-Chinese contest between the world's top 2 ranked mixed doubles pairs. Already with 3 Super 1000 crowns and the World Championship title in their trophy cabinet this year, Zheng Siwei and Huang Yaqiong were poised for a Super Grand Slam against the defending champions and world number 2s Wang Yiyu and Huang Dongping. Although they began their title defense brightly, Yi Liu and Dongping's challenge quickly withered as soon as their opponents clicked into gear. Zheng was commanding from the backcourt, and aided by Huang's tenacity at the front, the first game was swiftly over. The change of ends did nothing to improve the fortunes of Yi Liu and Dongping, as the world number ones proceeded to take full control of the second game. Comprehensively outclassed, Yi Liu and Dongping lasted just 36 minutes to hand the match and the title to the imperious Zheng and Huang.
Indeed, it is but there was nothing lucky about that performance. It was clinical.
其实我们俩都，其实从去年开始，然后看到这个奖杯之后，其实我们俩都非常的喜欢，然后也是去年有点遗憾吧，然后可能没有拿到这奖杯，然后但是今年就说能拿到这奖杯是非常开心的。
好久进决赛没有拿到冠军了。其实今天并没有想那么多了赛前，因为我觉得，首先我觉得我们队友他们近期的状态非常好，其实我们感觉我们并没有任何的优势，所以说今天其实就没有想着这个结果去打，就是把过程做好。我自己在场上我觉得打得挺爽的。
Zheng Qingchen and Jia Yifan were also carrying China's hopes in women's doubles, and the world #1 duo didn't disappoint. In what was a repeat result of April's Badminton Asia Championships final, Chen and Jia produced a dominant performance to defeat Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara once again. The world champions couldn't have any complaints as Chen and Jia romped home to a 21-14, 21-10 victory.
Brilliant rally. Oh my goodness. What a rally.
感觉非常棒，对，但是也下了领奖台，又觉得压力会更大了一些，因为我们又冲击到了这一次冠军，所以下一次当然也会要做好被冲击的准备。
今天我比昨天紧张一点点，因为毕竟是冠亚的时候就特别想要拿这个冠军了，对。
Completing China's successful title assault was Chen Yufei, who for the second time this year upstaged world #1 Tai Tzu-ying in the women's singles final. Beaten to the All-England crown earlier this year, Tai made her title intentions clear after she closed out the first game in ruthless fashion. Chen retaliated swiftly in the second before navigating expertly in the decider for her 7th title of 2019.
It's gone long, and Chen Yufei has beaten the world #1 Tai Tzu-ying.
我其实没有考虑这么多吧，就是我觉得世界第一就是只是一个排名，其实我觉得水平都是差不多的，所以就是每一场球都会很困难，只是会让我在信心上会收获信心吧，就这一场胜利。
Rarely would Japan go home empty-handed if there was a title tilt from Kenta Momota. A runner-up in the inaugural edition, the world champion wasn't going to be denied on the day against Indonesia's Antony Sinisuka Ginting. An opening game loss did little to shake Momota's belief. Even when Ginting kept close to level the score at 50-all, the Japanese star remained composed to take the match to a decider. The third game saw the Indonesian producing a 7-point salvo, only for Momota to respond in kind. And from that moment on, Ginting could only watch on as his opponent worked his way to a record 11th crown for the year.
He's done it.
今日の試合はすごく苦しかったんですけど、最後までしっかり我慢することができたので、良かったかなと思います。相手疲れているのも分かったので、しっかり我慢していこうと思って、プレーしました。特にそこは意識せずに、自分ができることを精一杯やろうと思ってプレーしました。
In another Japan-Indonesia matchup, men's doubles stars Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan made sure that the Southeast Asian nation didn't go home empty-handed. Taking on Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe, the opener was keenly contested from the very first minute, with both pairs taking turns to waste game points, before Ahsan and Setiawan pulled away with a 24-22 score. Endo and Watanabe, who had been in impressive form all week, cruised to a 16-10 lead in the second game, but allowed their opponents to claw back to 18-all. The big match experience of Ahsan and Setiawan paid off in the end, as the world champions concluded the day with their 4th crown of the year.
They've done it. A 3rd title for Ahsan and Setiawan at the end of season championships.
I want to say again thanks to God for the amazing day, amazing years. And then we really never expect like this, but this is good for us. Then now we are focused for next year. Still have a journey for Olympic. They're very tough, very young, and still fit, but
we just follow instruction for my coach, and then we have the strategy for the attack first.
That's all the time we have, but join us again next week for a glamorous episode of Badminton Unlimited.
Lavinda, because the most sexy in his title.
麒麟10分，我10点1分。
Suits, dresses, and the red carpet. Watch as Guangzhou honored the year's best at the annual Players Gala.
생각지도 못하게 받게 되어서 또 하나의 추억이 언니랑 생긴 것 같아서 기분이 말로 표현할 수 없을 만큼 좋아요.
And remember, log on to the BWF fan site bwfbadminton.com for all the latest news, stories, and features on the sport.